No, that's not right. Do it again. No, it's still not right. Do it again. No, it's still not right. Do it again. Okay, now you can go to sleep. These words might sound silly. They might even sound absurd. But these are real life words that are in a constant loop in an individual's brain who struggles with OCD, otherwise known as an obsession compulsive disorder. According to a study done by Michigan Medicine, it interferes with their ability to live a normal life. In this study, they discussed the issue that to this day, there is a lack of scientific research being done for individuals who struggle with obsession compulsive disorder, otherwise known as OCD. But is OCD just somebody being overly cautious? Or do the negative assumptions made by millions of people lead to somebody who is dealing with this disorder to deal with it quietly, resulting in barely any research being done to help with those who do struggle with obsession compulsive disorder? Hi, my name is Lorena, and I'm here today giving this speech to inform people about the realities that individuals with obsession compulsive disorder have and deal with. That it's just not about being clean. What are the hidden symptoms? Is it genetic or cause? And how can it be treated? These are all topics I will be discussing in today's speech. OCD is often stereotyped as someone just being overly clean. To some, it's not even considered a real disorder, but it is. According to an article done by the International OCD Foundation, OCD is a serious and often debilitating mental health disorder that affects people of all ages. For a disorder that is seen in all ages, it's one that's not commonly talked about. This might have to do with the fact of the individual who has OCD and their obsessions, as obsessions range from simple things like overwashing your hands to the middle ground of clicking things off and on until it feels right, or as extreme as having intrusive thoughts of hurting yourself or others. Oftentimes, as discussed in the Cleveland Clinic's Obsession Compulsive Disorder article, oftentimes individuals don't speak out when they think they have OCD because of the obsessions, and they have the fear of being judged for having them. But people who suffer with OCD don't intend to act out on these obsessions and compulsives. They can't help their brain from constantly having it in a loop throughout their day, which is why it's considered to be one of the most debilitating disorders, as it interferes with everyday life. The most visual way that OCD can be described is like this. If you look at this graph that I have made, it gives you an idea of what somebody who deals with OCD every single day feels like. At the beginning, there is something that it feels wrong, and they have to do it until they get it right. So the second step is that they constantly do it until they feel right. When it finally feels right, they have a moment of relief that compulsion and obsession is done with. But then they find a new compulsion to obsess over, and the cycle begins all over again. As random and over-consuming as the symptoms are to an individual, why do they have them to begin with? As stated by an article on OCD done by Mayo Clinic, there might be 3 places that OCD stems from: biology, genetics, learning. Focusing on biology, a study at the University of Cambridge showed that biologically, OCD can form when the 2 main neurotransmitters are disrupted. This causes a chemical imbalance in an individual's brain. The researchers at Cambridge also found from their studies that OCD sufferers have a higher levels of glutamine and lower levels of GABA in the anterior cingulate cortex compared to people without OCD. This might be a reason why people who have obsessions know they're random and often normal things that other people deal with. But since their brains are wired differently, their brains make them believe that they have to do something constantly until it's right, that somebody without the chemical imbalance might do every day without a second thought. Whether OCD is genetic or not, how can somebody be treated for the disorder if they believe they have it? According to the research done by University College of London, OCD affects around 3% of the population. With such low percentage, this means that research and medicine are at an all-time low, causing health providers and doctors to not even know what to prescribe prescribe to decrease OCD. One of the most beneficial and natural treatments for individuals struggling with OCD is exposure therapy. It might not be a treatment indefinitely that guarantees the disorder to completely vanish, but it does help slow down the obsessions. Currently, there are limited options for OCD treatments. The only known ones right now are cognitive behavior therapy, exposure, and some medications like selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Sorry if I'm butchering any of these names. But each day, researchers are conducting studies to determine the reasoning to find ways to help individuals. Hopefully, by the end of this speech, I was able to demonstrate to you not only the various symptoms in OCD, but the reasons for this very real disorder that aren't widely acknowledged. Obsession compulsive disorder isn't just somebody being clean, or a clean freak, or quirky. This is a real disorder. Instead of creating stereotypes or judging somebody based off their obsessions and compulsions, which they can't control, we should be hearing individuals out, trying to understand them, so later on we can produce real medications and treatments that can actually benefit them and help people who struggle with OCD and make an individual's life just a little bit more easier. We never know what somebody is dealing with. All we can do is listen. Thank you.